Well, it's that time of the month again. Time to check out those manga pickups. Now, we're covering March in this video, and I know it's coming out late. That has been pretty much the theme for the last couple of months, but listen, man, it takes a lot to put these videos together, okay? I get them out when I get a chance. Regardless, it's some great stuff once again this month. Of course, we've got your standard romance titles, because I'm a romance ass dude. Of course, that Smut for you freaks out there, and, you know, some action adventure titles too. Now, if you enjoy this type of content or any of my other content, please do me a favor, click that like and subscribe button. Let me know that you fucks with your boy the long way, you feel me? And I'm gonna keep doing what I do best, delivering you that fire content that I know y'all love. Anyway, I'm not gonna ramble on all day long, man. Let's go ahead and check out these manga pickups. Let me just go ahead and apologize for the audio. Also, I'm not sure why it's not up to my peak audio standards, as if I have high audio standards, but it's tolerable. I'm sure you guys can get through it. But once again, I do apologize for it not being quite as crisp as I would like it to be. Alrighty, we're gonna start off this month's pickups with what we normally start off with: slice of life, romance, lifestyle, whatever. And it's going to be, first of all, Heroine Saint No, I'm a All Works Made, Volume 2. Loved Volume 1 of this series. Very excited to read Volume 2. Haven't dug into it quite yet. But if you don't remember what this one is about, basically, girl gets isekai'd into a fantasy world, or an Atami game, I should say. She was a maid fanatic, and so she comes in. She's really supposed to be the protagonist of this game, but she likes being a maid so much, she just wants to do that. She ends up helping out this noble who lives in a dilapidated mansion and kind of is a lower noble, and so Volume 2 is just gonna pick up on that. So yeah, really excited to read this one. Volume 1 was a really great read, so yeah, if you're into maid stuff, definitely pick this up. By the way, let me highlight the fact that this is actually based on a light novel, so they just did a manga version of it. Not entirely sure how long this one's gonna run. Next up, channel favorite, Go 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 Ghost. I think I said enough goes. This one is an excellent series. I have already read Volume 3, which, if I did not mention, this is Volume 3, but I have already read it. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. More shenanigans, more curses, more of the stuff you love about this book. I recently watched a review about this, and they said that they couldn't empathize with the main character, and I thought that's kind of the point. This is really more like Seinfeld, but with curses. None of the people in this book are particularly good people, but I love that for this book. I love the fact that they're not particularly good people, but it's like seeing someone who's not, you know, particularly a good person, but also has a lot of messed up stuff happen to her, get her comeuppance, and this has been thoroughly enjoyable to read. So Go 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 Ghost Volume 3, banger. Next up, we have Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, Volume 4. Really happy to see another volume of this hitting the shelves. What a great book. What a fun, teasing kind of comedy manga with kind of a friendship slash romance being built out between a mid, like 30s, 40s salary man and kind of a young cashier at a store he likes to go to. Just a super fun series to read. Pretty much anybody who's read this has really, really enjoyed it. Mind you, there is an age gap in this, and some people don't really like age gaps. It didn't really bother me that much. I just think the content of this book is really worth reading. So yeah, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, Volume 4, great book. I would recommend picking this up any day. Next up, Please Go Home, Miss Akatsu, Volume 8. Love this series. I have not read this one quite yet. Another teasing manga, a little more on the ecchi side. These are like high schoolers. Basically, the girl forces her way into an apartment with a guy, and shenanigans ensue. And of course, they're getting closer and closer to basically ending up in a relationship in this one. Lots of fun, quirky characters in this particular book. I absolutely love this series. I know that we're probably getting closer to the end game with this, maybe a few more volumes to go. I don't know, it's still ongoing though. They're still finding ways to kind of keep these two together and keep them from actually getting into a relationship, but keep the teasing going on and the the wacky situation. So yeah, absolutely love this book. Really, really fun read. If you don't mind the ecchi bits, this is a fun read. Next up, The Dangers in My Heart, Volume 10. Absolute peak peak manga fiction. Already read this one, thoroughly enjoyed it. I love this book. I love these characters. I love Ichikawa and Anna Yamada together. I mean, what a fun couple. Always finding great ways to figure out like their little situations. I love how they don't play about each other. Like, I just love the fact that neither one of them play about each other. Like, don't get in their way. You know what I'm saying? Don't get in any way. But yeah, really fun shenanigans. Definitely a few challenges to their relationship that they hilariously get through. This is basically like the equivalent of the beach episode. They basically spend a few days at the beach doing some studying, and a whole bunch of, you know, preteen hijinks ensue. This is one of my favorite books that I'm reading. It just never falls off. The Dangers of My Heart never falls off. It's always hitting. Love this book. I highly recommend this to anyone, whether you read romance or you don't. This is a fantastic series. Love it. Next we have I Got Married to the Girl I Hate Most in Class. I picked this up because I really enjoyed the anime that aired in what I believe is the spring season, and it was fun. It was a really, really fun, great watch, and I wanted to read the manga. I thought it would be kind of fun to read the manga, especially because I like supporting things that I enjoy in hopes that it will get a second season, and I probably will continue watching the anime if it comes out again. But if not, hopefully the manga gets enough volumes to come out to complete the story. But yeah, really enjoyed this story. Basically about these two people who kind of hate each other. They're in the same class. They're both smart. They're both in competition with each other. They end up in a situation where they have to quote unquote get married / live together because their grandparents are basically like, you will not get your inheritance if we don't live together. So that's where we at with it. And it was a really fun series to watch. Lots of, you know, hijinks ensue in this book. Lots of fun, quirky characters in this book. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this and reading more volumes of it because I kind of definitely want to see how this thing plays out. Definitely looks a little more ecchi than I thought it was. This is my first time flipping through it. Definitely more ecchi than the anime was. That's okay. I don't mind ecchi stuff. It's cool. Next up, we have Nina the Starry Bride, Volume 8. I am still quite a bit behind on Nina. I think right now I'm reading Volume 5, but hopefully I'll get caught up really, really soon. Nina the Starry Bride has been one of my favorite series to read. I do hear that this is the point where the manga starts kind of going off the rails. So I'm kind of interested to see how, because I mean, maybe they write themselves in a corner in this book, but you know, so far the love triangle / dramatic tension has been really great in this book. So I've enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm planning on probably watching anime soon here just to see how different it is. But yeah, the manga's been great so far. So I think I'm, like I said, in volume 5, maybe 6. So I'm looking forward to kind of catching up and getting to this point and seeing kind of where it lands at. Next up is a book I had a hard time categorizing on this list, but it is The Summer Hikaru Died, and this is volume 5, so finally coming back around after months of not getting any volumes. I believe that I'm current in this book. I haven't read volume 5. I may go back and read volume 4 just to make sure that I read it. But yeah, this is a really great kind of horror / BL light story that has some really interesting twists and turns and some really interesting characters. I don't want to give away too much about this. I have definitely talked about the premise of this in previous videos, which I would definitely recommend you checking out. But yeah, this one's gonna be a banger, and I would definitely recommend reading it now because it has an anime that is airing soon. I think maybe for the fall winter season. So I would definitely recommend hopping on the manga now if you are a manga reader, just so you can go ahead and get caught up with everything that's going on and be locked in for the anime. But really, really great series, really fun series to read. Lots of twists and turns, definitely keeps you on your toes. I'm just really excited to go ahead and pick up and read this particular volume of this. Just want to make sure that I read volume 4 as well. But yeah, volume 5, The Summer Hikaru Died. Next up, we have another series that I have really enjoyed reading, and it's Sketchy Volume 5. Right now, I'm on volume 3 of this. Basically about girls learning how to skateboard to escape some of their like mundaneness of life. And it has been a really great read so far. Now, I heard it did fall off a little bit in volume 3, which is the next volume that I need to read, but I heard it pick back up in volume 4. Haven't read any reviews about volume 5 quite yet, but I am really, really excited to read it. Basically, this one follows our main character, which is this girl right here, who's kind of going through a like 20-somethings, 30-somethings crisis and just kind of trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. Her friends, you know, they kind of suck. They're like obsessed with marriage and, you know, things of that nature, and she just doesn't really care about those things. She's just like like kind of trying to live her life. And so, you know, she takes up skateboarding after, I guess, like stumbling upon it on like Instagram or something along those lines. But she takes up skateboarding, really enjoys it. And it's basically her and some other side characters kind of coming together and becoming friends and skating together. So yeah, this has been a really cool series. Also, I just want to point out that I love how detailed they get about the craft of skateboarding and give you like tons of tips and tricks. They also highlight Japanese women skaters, pro skaters, amateur skaters, but they highlight them at the end of every chapter. So I think that's a really nice touch for this book as well. But yeah, Sketchy's been a really good read. Looking forward to getting caught up to volume 5. Next up is a book I loved volume 1 of, and I wasn't even sure that I would, and it's Ontenary Complex, and this is volume 3. Basically follows these two characters. This is actually a really beautiful guy. This is a really handsome girl. They're best friends. They grew up together. They both have a thing for each other, but they don't really know it or don't really know how to express it. And it's just them kind of going through and having hijinks and learning a little bit more about each other, having a little bit more confidence in themselves and who they are, and just kind of falling for each other. I just think this is a really cool book. Really, really dope angle. I really enjoy reading volume 1. I do need to kind of circle back around and read volume 2, which is in my TBR right now, so we could get into volume 3 and get all caught up before we get too many volumes out and I'm so behind. But yeah, really enjoyed this story. Really nice kind of slice of life, friendship, childhood friends into romance. But I think it has a very interesting twist. So yeah, Ontenary Complex, volume 3. Next up, we picked up Takashi from the Bike Shop, volume 1. This is one that I heard good things about from other manga tubers. From what I understand about the premise of this is essentially the main girl's bike kind of breaks down, she gets a flat or whatever, and she ends up going into this bike shop, meeting this guy. I don't know if he was like a former delinquent or something like that, but she meets this guy who fixes her bike, kind of falls for him, and it's them kind of getting to know each other and the slice of life shenanigans that ensue. So yeah, looking to be like a pretty interesting, fun, heartwarming read about two people learning a little bit more about each other. This one also for volume 1 is relatively chunky, so you know, looking forward to reading this one and figuring out where it goes. I've kind of been putting it on the back burner because I've been focusing on some other things for the last month or so, but probably moving to my TBR very, very soon. Next up, one of the last books I picked up at the end of March, and it's The Flagrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This is volume 6. I say it every time, they are pumping these out so fast. I have finally got them on my reserve list, my pull list, like whatever, at Barnes & Noble, so you know, I get them pretty much when they come out now. They don't sneak up on me anymore, but great story. I've talked about what's in it like a number of times. I think at this point, I'm still on like volume 3 or maybe volume 4. I need to kind of circle back and see. Would love to get caught up in this one because the anime is coming out very, very soon. I think this one's going to be for the summer or the fall winter season. So looking forward to reading this. I mean, I think the main characters are adorable, but once again, and I say this all the time, this also talks about their friend groups kind of coming together as well and getting to know each other. But you know, really nice modern take on the Romeo and Juliet trope. Really cool story, really likable characters, really nice story progression. I have really thoroughly enjoyed reading this series so far. I'm looking forward to reading more, but it is absolutely peak. And if you don't read the manga, you will probably enjoy the anime when it comes out in the next few months. And last but not least, for our slice of life kind of romance situation, Your Lie in April, which, you know, we've talked about before in pretty great detail. I did an entire video that included this as one of the books that I was reading and kind of did some detail about, so definitely check that out. But yeah, just continuing on in the story. This is the Omniverse version, so this is going to be, what is it, volume 7, 8, and 9. This is a pretty short series. I think it's only like 11 volumes. So the next one that comes out is going to be the final 2 volumes for this, which I'm really excited to pick up. I enjoyed this story relatively well. Definitely had a few issues with it, but overall, I think it's a very good story. I think it's very, you know, very much so peak. Kind of hard to flip through this one, but it's very much so peak in the way that it handles kind of romance and tragedy and, you know, music and all of that good stuff. So it's a pretty solid book. I just had a few issues with it, and I'm trying not to flip too much to give myself too many spoilers, so we're gonna close it here. But Your Lie in April, Omnibus 3, really was like a pretty decent read. I'm looking forward to going ahead and finishing off the series. I'm actually almost done with volume 2, finished it a little while ago, or got to where I was a little while ago. I just have maybe like another chapter to read in that one, and then we can move on to this one. Okay, Now it's time for y'all's favorite section, the smut section, and we're gonna start that off with another volume of Honey Trap Shared House. Now this is one that I haven't read, though I did go ahead and flip through this one. I am kind of familiar with the story from manga recaps. Now we're not gonna flip through this one because, you know, it's smut, but basically I like the premise of it. It's a little bit goofy, but it's basically like a bunch of characters end up in this shared kind of trap house. They're all assassins. They all kind of know each other. They also all want to sleep with the main character. It's, you know, a goofy ass story, but I like smut. I like interesting smut, and this one's kind of interesting. So yeah, Honey Trap Shared House. I think volume 5 is coming out in June or July or something like that. So good time to get on this if you like this kind of smut. Next up, we have Yandere Dark Elf Volumes 1 and 2. Very interesting series. It basically follows like this high school kid that gets pulled to another world, helps defeat their dark lord with his party, which includes this Yandere Elf. The Yandere Elf kind of loves this guy so much, she ends up following him back to Earth, and hijinks ensue. She's super thirsty for him. He's kind of like, whoa, chill out, buddy. And yeah, they just get into a bunch of hijinks. Once again, this one's not as smutty. It's definitely smutty, but there's not quite as much nudity as it is in some other stuff that I read. It's mostly censored all the way through. The main character does look kind of like a little pretty boy or whatever, so you know, you kind of got that Shotokan thing going on, but I don't mind it so much. And it has like a pretty interesting premise. Even if it is like a little smutty, it does have like a decent story that I kind of enjoy reading. So yeah, I've already read parts of volume 1, and honestly I read parts of volume 2. I just haven't read the whole of both of them, but I enjoyed it. It was kind of a fun read, and like I said, it's not super duper smutty. So yeah, if you're into this kind of thing, a little bit of high fantasy, but came back to like, you know, the regular world, this is a pretty cool read, not gonna lie. And last but not least, we have Super Ball Girls, which is from the people who brought you Prison School and Blue Lock, so you can imagine how insane it's gonna be. But yeah, it basically follows our main character, who is, you know, essentially a virgin loser. He ends up finding a bouncy ball somehow, throws it around his room, and poof, like 4 bitches pop out, and he ends up with an instant harem. Now, I'm sure this goes somewhere. I haven't necessarily read it yet. I just unwrapped it and kind of flipped through it. Not super smutty, but you know, a little bit more nudity than like Yandere Elf, so we're not gonna flip through this one. But yeah, interested to see where this goes. Like, it seems like it's gonna have like maybe some battle elements to it or some competition elements to it or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna see how this one plays out. It looks super interesting. I at very least like the cover and the art style, so we'll see if we like the writing in it. Anyway, that's it for our smut section, and let's get back to the regular books. Okay, this final section is going to be the action, adventure, fantasy, like that type of stuff that I picked up. And we're going to start that off with Killer Shark in Another World, Volume 3. Now, I thoroughly enjoy Volume 1, though I haven't had a chance to make it around to Volume 2, and now there's a Volume 3 out, so sounds like I need to really get on the ball. Nonetheless, this is a really funny, kind of batshit crazy story, which I kind of talked about a little bit in, I think, my pickup of Volume. And this might actually be worth doing kind of the first 3 volumes read through to give you guys a sense of like how the story plays out. But yeah, basically it follows our main character right back here, who is a mage who summons beast. There was like a whole group of mages who summon beast or whatever. She ends up summoning this like massive shark that everyone kind of at first sees because it has like this kind of cute form. And they're like, yeah, what the hell is this? And next thing you know, the shark is like wrecking everything. So yeah, this shark kind of has a few quirks, a few things that it doesn't like, and those are the things that make it fuck everything up. But yeah, really quirky, funny story. Really been enjoyable to read. Looking forward to kind of getting back into this world. But yeah, if you want something kind of fun and quirky, Killer Shark in Another World is a really fun take on the isekai genre. So yeah, definitely would recommend this book. Really did thoroughly enjoy Volume 1, and don't expect anything like world breaking out of this book. It's not gonna be. It's just a fun premise, a fun read, fun action read. So yeah, Killer Shark in Another World, Volume 3. Surprised that we got 3 volumes of this already. So next up is gonna be Dan Da Dan Volume 12. Let me reiterate the fact that I have not read a volume of Dan Da Dan yet. Just really enjoyed the show. You're already pretty familiar with Dan Da Dan. They're pumping out these volumes really fast. Artwork is insanely good. Storytelling has been so good so far. Would love to kind of go and sit down maybe one weekend, binge the books and get caught up and get to the point where, you know, I'm here at Volume 12. But yeah, another volume Dan Da Dan to sit on my shelf until I finally do decide to read it. But man, even flipping through it right now looks pretty freaking insane. So probably should start reading this soon. I'm not gonna lie. I should probably start reading this, but I'll read it when I get ready to. Dan Da Dan Volume 12. If you know, you know. Now, next up is something I actually picked up last month and forgot to include it, so we're gonna put it into this month's pickups, but I picked up Mao Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. One I haven't read yet, but I am kind of familiar with it. You know, I'm on a mission to collect all the volumes in Inuyasha. And this is from the same creator, Rumiko Takahashi. This basically has a similar premise, honestly, to Inuyasha. Basically, a girl gets pulled into another world, gets involved with the stuff that they got going on, demons and powers and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a pretty long running series. Part of me is kind of like, why did I buy this? I think I got a really good deal on these first 4 volumes on Hikaru. So this is one I'm probably going to be collecting very, very, very slowly, just as I can kind of come across additional volumes for these for relatively cheap. But yeah, I just kind of want to collect Rumiko Takahashi's work, and so I figured I would get into Mao, but I don't have any plans on reading this like anytime soon. I've heard it's like pretty decent though. So yeah, Mao volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let me say this, I think that there is something like 13, 14 volumes of this out already. It's gonna run for a really long time and take up a ton of shelf space. Next up, we have The Last Elf, which is a book that I actually talked about in a little bit of depth in one of my previous videos. But yeah, this one was an okay read. Wasn't my favorite, but I think I'm going to continue reading it because I think it has, you know, some good ideas under it. But basically, if you want me to tell you about this book, how about you go watch that video? But I will flip through it a little bit so you can see some of the artwork. I think the artwork is pretty solid in this book. It's not too crazy, like nothing really great about it, but I think it holds its own in a lot of ways. The creature design is cool. If anything, it reminds me of Full Metal Alchemist. The main character is cool. I think she's got a little charm to her. I would like to see a little bit more from her, but probably the thing that sold me on it was the premise in and of itself, which if you want to know a little bit more about, why don't you watch that video right above. But I did kind of like this cover, which is embossed right here. I love when they do the embossed covers. Probably will only last for 1 volume, but still thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, Last Elf, I don't know if I would recommend you picking this up, but I would recommend you to watch the video that I made on this. I know I mentioned it 3 times. Next up is The Color of the End, another book that I talked about in detail in the same video that I talked about Last Elf, actually. This is a gorgeously drawn book, one that I would highly recommend. You should definitely check out my video where I talked about this because I think this is a gorgeous, well-drawn series. Some excellent storytelling. I think it is really worth your time and your dollars. Really cool book. I enjoy reading this thoroughly. I really enjoy reading this book. I'm not even gonna lie. I love looking at it. Even now while I'm flipping through it, I'm looking through it and I'm like, this artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Like really well done. Backgrounds are incredibly detailed. The character design is great. Just enjoy this book. Buy it. Buy this book. Of all the books that I talked about, I would definitely say buy this book because this one was really great. But if you want a little bit more detail, definitely go check out that video. I'll just put the card up for before. But The Color of the End, Mission in the Apocalypse, Volume 1. And last but most certainly not least, we picked up X-Men the manga. This is Volume 2, the end of that omnibus. I mean, this is just pure nostalgia bait for me. It's just really like a manga take on X-Men, the animated series. That's the long and short of it. You know, pretty cool design. This, I don't know, some of it is like not my favorite, but I picked it up because like, how could I not? Like X-Men, but manga, make it manga, you know, super fun. Definitely 90s style artwork. Really excited to kind of sit down and kind of flip through this and see what I like, what I don't like, and where they take the storytelling. But yeah, it looks cool for the most part. Maybe that little first part I wasn't feeling, but the artwork later on looks a little bit better. So yeah, I still haven't read volume 1 of this, to be honest with you. It's just been on my shelf. Like I said, this is more of a nostalgia collect for me than anything else, but it looks like it could be like a really fun book to read on a weekend or, you know, a weekday when I kind of want to turn off and I don't want to think too much about what I'm reading. I think this would be a really cool book to read. So yeah, X-Men the manga, Volume 2, the finisher of the series. And this boy is real chunky too. It's really thick. Like, they make sure you get your money's worth out of this one. And there you have it, my friends, March's manga pickups. Let me know if there's anything down there that maybe piqued your interest or you might have missed out on and now you might be picking up. I love it when you guys tell me in the comments that you found something because I picked it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. And once again, if you enjoy videos like this or anything revolving manga, anime, figures, I cover it all in the medium. Please go ahead, click that like and subscribe notifications and turn on post notifications if you're feeling really frisky. Let me know that you fucks with your boy the long way, you feel me? And as I always say, let's continue to talk about the things we like, the things that we don't, and everything in between. And until next time, peace.